Alright, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we're all doing well today. This video stands as your explanation of what's happening with regards to the end of term submission dates. So you'll see here that I'm on the week 8 Canvas page. This page has now been published, so you will all have access to it. You will of course be finding your test link here on your respective day in week 8, but let's focus on the tasks and deadline submissions over here. All right, so I've tried to make this as succinct as possible. There is one link per assignment, okay? So if we go through these here, you will be submitting a total of 7 files overall. That will be times 4 design files. So that's assignment 1 design, assignment 2 design, assignment 3 design, and the skull design. Okay, we'll be going through these in more details in a moment, but you will be submitting times 4 files for the design portion of this term. You will then be submitting times 3 rendered files for the animation portion. So that's assignment 1 animation, assignment 2 animation, and assignment 3 animation. I have also provided the labeling convention that I want you to use on this page. So I want you to start off with your student number, underscore, your name and surname, underscore, and then the name of the assignment. So for example, assignment 1 design, assignment 2 animation, or assignment 1 animation, whatever the case may be. And then for the skull design, I just want you to call it skull design. Okay, so literally just copy and paste these naming conventions, and obviously then just adjust the assignment numbers to be correct and submit to the following links. Now if we go through these links, for the design, they're all the same, so I'll read through the instructions for one, and it'll be the same for all 4 of them. Okay. What I want you to submit for the design portion of the animation is your saved Illustrator file. Okay, so the saved AI file that you imported into your animation in order to animate, you are going to submit that AI file to the design submissions. Okay, you need to ensure that you have labeled your file correctly. You need to ensure that you are submitting the correct file to the correct assignment, and you need to ensure that you are submitting the correct file type. Now, what do I mean by this? In terms of labeling, if you do not label correctly according to the labeling convention that I have given you, you will get 0% for the submission. Ensure that you are submitting the correct file to the correct assignment. If you are submitting assignment 1's design to the assignment 2 design link, you will get 0 because you have submitted the incorrect file. Ensure that you are submitting the correct file type. If you submit anything other than an Illustrator save file, you will get 0. Okay. Note, incorrectly labeled submitted files will receive 0. Double check that you have submitted it correctly. It's not on me, your lecturer, to check for you whether or not you have submitted your file correctly. It is simply my job to take your submission and to mark it. It is on you to ensure that you have, once again, labeled your file correctly, submitted the correct file to the correct assignment, and to ensure that you have submitted the correct file type. Do not email me to ask me to check your submissions. I will not do that. That is on you. Okay. Same can be said for assignment 2, right? Submit the saved AI file for this particular assignment, adhering to the rules that have just been explained. Same for assignment 3. These can obviously be submitted as a single Illustrator file, but once again, set up correctly, labeled correctly, submitted to the correct assignment, and submitting the correct file type. Notice for these 3 assignments that it also states with layers correctly set up for animation. All right. Now this should be a given. You have imported these files and you have animated them, which would lead me to be able to hopefully assume that you have set up your layers correctly. Please make sure to submit that file. Do not flatten your layers or flatten your assets into a single layer, because that will then not be correctly set up for animation. Okay, so please make sure that you are submitting the file with all of the assets on their own separate main layers, as we have been practicing this term. The only thing that differs slightly is for the Illustrator competency submission, right? For your skull design, you do not have to have the layers for the skull design set up in any particular fashion. We are not animating it, so I do not need you to have separated each of these elements onto their own individual layers. All I need you to do for the Illustrator competency submission is once again make sure that you have submitted your Illustrator save file of your recreation, ensure that you have labeled it correctly, ensure that you are submitting the correct file to the correct assignment, and ensure that you are submitting the correct file type. Right. Moving over to the assignments for the animations. All right. All I want for these are a single rendered file each. All I want to see is your rendered video file. You must use Adobe Media Encoder when rendering your file. You must ensure that it has been labeled correctly. You must ensure that you have submitted it to the correct file, to the correct assignment rather, and you must ensure that you have submitted the correct file type. Okay, same rules apply as with the design portions. If you submit incorrectly labeled files, 0%. Incorrectly submitted files, so if you submit assignment 2 to assignment 1 by mistake, 0%. Ensure that you've submitted the correct file type. If you give me a working file, I will give you worse than 0%. I will fail you so hard that your mark will come back in the negative value. Please, it says here, rendered file only. Do not fuck that up. Do not risk losing out the marks that you deserve because you did not follow the submission procedure correctly. Same for assignment 2, right? The exact same rules, and then the same for assignment 3. So, to recap, when you are submitting these files, you will be submitting a total of 7 files. There is a separate link per submission. So you should only be submitting a single file per link. Please do not put all 7 into one of these links. I only need the corresponding file. All right, times 4 design files, that's assignment 1, 2, 3 design recreations and the skull design. Times 3 animation rendered files only, that's assignment 1, 2, and 3 recreations. Here is your naming convention, and please, once again, make sure that you are submitting the correct file to the correct link. It is not on me to do that for you. You will need to do it before the submission deadline, or else it will come back as 0%. Okay. The reason why I'm being such an asshole about this, guys, I've already explained to you. When it comes to marking, I need to be the employer, not the lecturer. I need to hold you accountable to the commitment and the, let's call it, workload that you have been provided. Okay, please do not make any mistakes. This term, second term, only those scoring between 40% and 49% will be allowed to resubmit. This is not like the first term. You will not get an easy second chance if you make a mistake on these submissions. All right, so please spend at least a couple of minutes per submission, ensuring that you have done it correctly. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me an email. Otherwise, that's everything from my side. I will see you in your class times for your class test in week 8. Good luck for the rest of the week. Bye.